Welcome to this YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about bee stings and some remedies that you can use if you are bitten by a bee. And I'll also tell you about my experiences with bees and bee stings. Okay, now you can see there's a picture of some bees, and bees basically pollinize. And I think it was Albert Einstein who said once upon a time that if there were no bees in the world, mankind would cease to exist. But getting away from that, let's just talk about if you get bitten by a bee. Now, I'm from Australia, and I remember as a kid being bitten by bees quite a few times actually. And for me, it just wasn't a big deal. I was bitten by them, and like it says here, for most people, a bee sting is just a nuisance. Um, it says here you may experience temporary sharp pain, swelling, redness, warmth, and itching at the sting site, and no real serious complications. But you could be allergic to bees, um, and it could be life-threatening. So what I would suggest is if you're bitten by a bee and you're going through, like some type of suffering, I would I would go to the doctor as quickly as possible. Now, when a honey bee stings you, there's a stinger. It's released into your skin, and bees die after that. If you didn't know, I knew that. Like they bite you and then they just basically go and die. But anyway, uh, yeah, honeybees are the only type of bee that die after they sting. Wasps and other species don't lose their stingers. Well, I remember as a kid being bitten by wasps as well, and wasn't very nice. So what happens when a bee stings you? It leaves a venomous toxin that can cause pain and other symptoms. Um, and some people can have mild allergic reactions, and that can cause extreme redness and extreme swelling at the sting site. Okay, now some of these allergic reactions uh, could include, but are not limited to hives, pale skin, severe itching, swelling of the tongue and throat. Now, they talk about swelling of the tongue and throat, and I remember reading somewhere that, like if you're outside and you've got some Coca-Cola, for example, in a bottle, you should keep putting the lid on, because if the bee went in there and then you accidentally swallowed the bee and it was in your throat and it bit the inside of your throat, you'd most probably die. That's just something I know, and I'm just telling you about that as they're talking about this. So, allergic reactions, difficulty breathing, your pulse, rapid pulse. Here's a bad one: nausea and vomiting, diarrhea and dizziness, and loss of consciousness. Now, if you have any of these signs of a severe reaction, you really should get emergency help. Just get to your doctor as quickly as possible. Now, there are home remedies for bee stings. Um, so we'll just run through this. Uh, if a honeybee stings you, remove the stinger immediately with the edge of your fingernail or the edge of a credit card, and this helps curb the amount of toxins released into your skin. Then wash where the sting is with soap and water, icing the sting site. Okay, now when you do that, you just basically put the ice in a cloth and you know, rub it over the area, and um, this will slow down uh, the pain. Okay, now let's just keep going here. So you remove it with your fingernails. You wash it with soap and water. You can use some ice. Here, the most home treatments for bee sting symptoms. Yeah, well, yeah. Now I've read that before. A lot of these home remedies aren't supported by scientific research, but they've been passed down for generations. Now, let's just get into this. Honey. Well, honey's got a lot of medicinal sort of properties. So, you could put some honey on it. Okay? It says here, cover with a loose bandage and leave for an hour. A baking soda. Um, a paste made of baking soda and water. So you just get some baking powder and a little bit of water, make a paste, and you apply that to the affected area and leave it for 15 minutes. Now, apple cider vinegar, like I've read that that's got a lot of medicinal sort of properties, and um, but I've also read that, as it's set up here, um, it's not supported by research, but some people believe vinegar helps neutralize bee venom. Again, um, soak the sting site in a basin of diluted apple cider vinegar for at least 15 minutes. Okay, and you can soak a bandage or cloth in the vinegar and then apply it to the sting site. Now here's another one, toothpaste. So it says here, it is unclear why toothpaste can help bee stings. Some people claim that the alkaline toothpaste neutralizes acid honeybee venom. If true, however, toothpaste won't work on alkaline wasp venom. Either way, it's a very cheap way to deal with the problem. You just dab it on. Now, here's another one, meat tenderizer. Now, there's an enzyme in meat tenderizer called papain, and you could put that on it. Some meat tenderizer. But you'd want to have a look on the pack that it's got this papain in it. This one. You'd have to look at the ingredients if you went to the shop and bought it. Okay. To treat a bee sting this way, make a solution of 1 part meat tenderizer and 4 parts water, and put it on the bee sting for 30 minutes. Then you've got this wet aspirin tablet, a popular home remedy for reducing the pain and swelling of the bee sting. To apply a wet aspirin or aspirin paste. So yeah, you basically make a paste out of an aspirin. You crush up the aspirin and with a bit of water and dab that on it. And like was a study or whatever done, and they're saying that basically, aspirin's useless compared to ice. You see, that's another thing. You can just put ice on it. You just put the ice in a cloth and put that on it. Then we come down to herbs and oils. Well, the whole thing about herbs and oils is you've got to make sure that you're not allergic to them, because that could be a big problem. Now, aloe vera, you see, um, that's that soothes pain, and I can also tell you it's got antibacterial properties. Some people use it for toothaches. I've actually got some growing in my garden, and sometimes I use it I use it with my teeth sometimes, and sometimes on cuts. So yeah, if you've got some aloe vera, or you can buy some, like a gel, just put that on. Calendula cream is an antiseptic used to heal minor wounds and ease skin irritation. Okay, so you could use that. Lavender essential oil is another option, and you have to dilute that with a carrier oil. So what you do is you get some coconut or olive oil, and then you put the lavender oil into that, and yeah, basically you then dab that on the bee sting. Tea tree oil, that's another one. Witch hazel is a tried and true herbal remedy. Okay, so you could try that. Okay, now look, we've come to the end of that. They're just some notes regarding bee sting issues, and I hope this was helpful. If you like the content of this video, I would really appreciate, that you subscribed and hit the notification bell. On this channel, I promote products that you can buy. So, you can look at the playlists, and there's things in there that, you might be interested in, and, you've got to click a link and you can go and buy. And then I also am going to start releasing articles, videos about, things like this, bee stings, things that can help people, like, um, I don't want to make videos about ridiculous things, but things that can help people in everyday life, etc. So look, I would like to thank you for your time, and bye for now.